Hello everyone, TP here, and today I'll be ranking the hit seasons of Thomas and Friends. Now, for starters, the hit era was very nostalgic to me, and I can remember watching lots of these episodes from this era, but I'll save that topic for another video. But, without any further ado, let's get into the ranking list for the first season of the hit entertainment era, Season 8. Oh boy, there's going to be a lot of bad episodes in this section. Emily's Adventure. Okay, this should come to no surprise to anyone who hates this episode. Emily, is it that hard to say please and thank you? Instead, she acts like a bossy, rude, immature Lucy ripoff, and I hate it to my core. Honestly, I'd rather watch Renee's on the roller coaster than this pile of rubbish. 1 out of 10, it's that bad to me. I know. Chickens to School. This episode is, to quote again, not just wrong, but stupid. Like, why is the Fat Controller blame Thomas for all this? Like, you accepted him to do the job, you brainless prick. I 100% agree with Usual Bloke Luke that this episode is dumb and every problem mentioned in his video is totally validated. But still, this episode is just terrible. I mean, I guess it's better than Renee's on the roller coaster, slightly, but it's still awful. 1 out of 10. As good as Gordon. Emily is not just bossy, but impatient. Wow. I don't want to talk about this episode anymore. One thing I will give credit for this episode is that I like the autumn setting. But that's it. That's all I like in this episode. The rest of it is just terrible. 2 out of 10. Too hot for Thomas. Like the previous ranking, it's not, well, except it's not Emily, it's Thomas. Thomas is an impatient prick. The crash itself, if you can even call it a crash, is so nonsensical and unrealistic. Like, how does cocoa powder explode when it is detached? And furthermore, why are the loads not covered with tarp? Yeah, it should be obvious to those who know that these loads should be covered in tarp, but are just left open so that the kids can see what's clearly inside. That is such a stupid reason. I hate this episode so much. 2 out of 10. Henry and the Wishing Tree. One thing I will say about this episode is that I like Henry's love for nature. I like that that comes back after, like, God knows how long. But at the same time, this episode should not exist at all. Why? Because Henry doesn't know how to pull passengers. What? And despite the fact, 2 episodes ago in Percy's New Whistle, we see Henry pulling passengers. What? But seriously, this episode should not exist. Like, well, at least in my opinion. Anyway, yeah, it's just terrible. 2 out of 10. I really don't like it. Percy and the Magic Carpet. I personally dislike this one because it is so boring. I mean, there is that funny moment where Salty talks to Percy, but this episode is still bad. Not terrible at the very least. 3 out of 10. Thomas and the Tuba. Thomas is not only impatient, he's also deaf as he can't hear the tuba playing. What an idiot indeed. I mean, and I guess the only thing I'll give credit for is the crash was alright at best. I mean, it wasn't great, but I mean, it wasn't bad either. 3 out of 10. Thomas and the Circus. This episode is so boring. Like, the moral is so obvious, like 2 minutes in. I hate it. I mean, other than that, the rest of the episode is fine, I guess. I mean, Percy and James willing to help Thomas is something that's pretty good, I guess. But other than that, this episode sucks. 3 out of 10. Thomas gets it right. Again, boring. The moral is pretty obvious. Like, I don't know. I don't even want to do this anymore. It has a lazy title which takes Percy gets it right, but put Thomas's name in place of Percy. That is so lazy. I mean, I guess the only thing I can give credit for this episode is the setting was good at least. The cloudy skies actually make it look a little more ominous to me. And that's really it. 3 out of 10. This episode it just isn't good. Percy's new whistle. Okay, let me just start off by saying the title is a complete lie. It is annoying to me because of the whistling from Percy. Like, it just goes on for like 2 seconds. Like, yeah, I know that's a short amount of time, but it's still so annoying. It's a similar problem I have with whistles and sneezes when I discussed that in my Season 1 video. Like, where Gordon's whistling just annoyed the living crap out of me. And the same problem happens again here. I mean, the winter setting was good, the crash was good, but I just don't want to talk about this one anymore. It's just not that good. 4 out of 10. Thomas, Emily, and the Snowplow. I'm just gonna say it. Andrew Brenner did 5 times better than this. Like, Emily is once again bossy, and Thomas, I don't mind, I guess. And, I mean, I can understand why Thomas would not listen to Emily because, you know, she's bossy in this episode. As with most of the Emily episodes this season. But still, I don't mind Thomas. And at least the music was actually pretty decent, so this episode still gets a 4 out of 10. For Emily being bossy, and it's just kind of boring. Again, 4 out of 10. Don't tell Thomas. The engines are absolutely trash at keeping secrets from Thomas. Like in the scene where Toby is talking, or Harold is talking to Toby, sorry. Like, Thomas is right there. You couldn't just talk about it somewhere else where Thomas isn't there? But one thing I will say is that I really love the ending. It just has such a sweet... It has, like, the music piece that plays at the end is so sweet. And Thomas getting his surprise was very well deserved. He clearly was put through too much crap in this episode. So I'm happy he got some justice here. But still, this episode is not that good to me. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. 4 out of 10. Gordon takes charge. This is an alright Gordon episode, but Percy learning to pull coaches is backwards and should have been something done for Season 1, if I'm being honest. But I do agree with the usual bloke Luke that it can be a story written in the classic series and the Railway series, just slightly rewritten a bit. But still, this episode is alright. 5 out of 10. This is the only... I should also mention that this is the only 5 out of 10 on this list. The rest of the episodes are 6 to 10. You can do it, Toby. The scenes with Gordon being pushed up the hill by Edward and Toby are great, and I agree with James A. Williams that this story should have had Percy as the lead. I mean, I guess I understand why people like this one, because Toby proves his worth, but to me, it's just alright. It's nothing impressive. 6 out of 10. Emily's new roots. This is one of the better Emily episodes of the season for me. Emily is in character with her Season 7 personality, the crash was funny, and this is overall a solid episode for me. 6 out of 10. Thomas saves the day. The scene with Thomas's crash and the build-up to it was a bit weird, like with Thomas taking the ordinary coaches, or the red coaches, you could call them. But other than that, the rest of the episode is good. The runaway and crash were great, and overall, just a solid Thomas episode. 7 out of 10. Spick and Span. Okay, I don't know the general consensus of this episode, but here are my thoughts on it. It's good. Thomas and Percy are in character. Them winning in the end was really fun to see, and honestly just a fun Thomas and Percy working together episode. 7 out of 10. Squeak, Rattle, and Roll. It's a bit overrated, but it's still good. I mean, Gordon as the lead is a bit weird to me. But I understand why they chose Gordon for this episode, as back in Season 3, we had this little moment in Tender Engines where Gordon asks about his brothers. And I'm pretty sure they just wanted to continue something with that, even though I don't think it was intentional by the writer's part. But still, this episode is pretty good. 7 out of 10. Fish. Aside from the lazy title coming from Season 4, and aside from it feeling like something kind of like Spotless Record, I'm happy that this episode is at least better than Spotless Record by a long shot. The crash was great, and overall, this episode was just really fun to watch. 7 out of 10. Halloween. Like Squeak, Rattle, and Roll, it's a bit overrated, but I still really like it. The atmosphere is at its best, and so is the music with that haunting chase theme. I love it. But, I mean, again, this episode is a bit overrated, but again, I still really like it. 8 out of 10. Thomas to the Rescue. This is another one of the good Thomas episodes in my opinion, as I'm pretty sure everyone is going to agree with me on that. I mean, Thomas helping all the Diesels on Sodor is very nice to see, and is pretty in character for him. And this is overall just a really good Thomas episode. 8 out of 10. Edward the Great. Spencer is great to see as always. The race between the two engines is fun to watch, and I know Spencer having the jet plane sound effect is kind of wrong, but at the same time it sounds kind of funny to me. Like, Spencer is a streamlined engine after all, and I mean, I get it, he shouldn't have that jet plane sound effect, but honestly, I feel it was kind of funny to me, as I said earlier. But still, this episode is really fun to watch. 8 out of 10. James Goes Too Far. I don't have much to say on this one, other than I like how James is handled in this episode, and I also like how Salt is the one to tell him off instead of the usual fat controller. But other than that, I don't have much to say on this one. 8 out of 10. Thomas and the Firework Display. This is the best Thomas episode of the season. Well, the best Thomas character episode of the season, anyway. I personally really liked this episode because of the Thomas and James dynamic. And that one panning shot showing the vans with fireworks is really nice, and one of my favorite camera angles in the Hit era, personally. But I find it weird how the drivers set a rocket. Like, isn't it illegal or something? I don't know, I'm not a fireworks expert. Please let me know how fireworks actually work, or if they're illegal or not. I have no idea. But still, this episode is really good. 8 out of 10. Percy's Big Mistake. I love this episode because of the crash alone. Let me tell you, it is the best crash of the season, period. I also really like Percy in this episode. And honestly, I just really like how the idea of scrap is done in this episode. Like, Percy overhears Topham talking to some random driver, fireman, whatever. Or maybe it's one of Percy's crew. But Percy probably just gets the wrong idea. And honestly, I find it very relatable as, let's say if a child misheard their parents saying, okay, I can't really think of an example, but still, this episode is great. I really love it, especially the crash. Again, it is the best crash of the season, period. Well, at least to me, honestly. 10 out of 10. I love this episode. But not as much as James Gets a New Coat. I love this episode as it's another one of the episodes where James is put through so much. I also like Percy in this episode as well. Getting the last laugh at the end with him was really funny. And I just overall love this episode, as it's the best to come out of Season 8 in my opinion. 10 out of 10. I really love this one. One of the best James episodes of the show. And that is my ranking list for Season 8. Now for me, Season 8 is kind of weaker than Season 7 in comparison, and is honestly a mid-season overall, because it has so many things done wrong, while there are just as much stuff done right. And I'm sorry if I just trashed so much on most of these episodes. I just didn't want to talk about them because of how much they sucked. Like Emily's Adventure, Too Hot for Thomas, Chickens to School are all pretty terrible episodes. And Henry and the Wishing Tree, oh my god, that one should not exist at all because of how it just retcons, like, it just creates so much retcons. Well, not really that much, as they only create like one or two retcons, but yeah, anyway, I thank you for watching this video as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.